Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Ivan Temelkov here from Razor Sharp Digital, the number one human marketing agency in the world, where we work with brands and individuals and helping them forge their digital footprint using multi-channel marketing, emotional engagement, and human-to-human business practices. Today, I'm going to talk about something a little different than what I typically do, and that is how to generate more leads for your business that pay dividends and also have higher retention. Yes, it is possible to do that. It is possible to generate leads for your business in this age today. Everything that's happening in the world that's going to help you pay long term dividends and also contribute to higher retention. Now, let's talk about this. Okay. Now, every business, if you're a small business owner, if you're an entrepreneur, you need more leads to survive. You need more leads because those leads turn into prospects, and hopefully those prospects turn into customers, right? Let's face it, most entrepreneurs, most small businesses can create enough attraction to generate leads. Now, the challenge is to turn those leads into prospects, into interested people that want to buy your product or service, whatever it is that you have to sell, right? Now, you heard me say, I said most people can generate leads. For example, just because you created 240 leads does not necessarily mean that every single one of those leads is going to turn into a prospect. Okay. In fact, maybe about 40%, 50% of those leads that you generate will actually turn into prospects. And then you still have to convert them so they turn into customers, right? Well, let's talk about how to generate more leads, how to generate more leads for your business with long-term dividends and high retention. What do I mean by high retention? Meaning that the people that you work with will stick around for a long period of time. A lot of businesses have turnover and they lose customers. That's just essential. It's what happens in business. This is why you have to be more selective than ever before about the type of people that you do business with. Not everyone is your customer. Not everyone is going to be a customer. Nor do you want everybody to be your customer. Okay? Let's talk about this. Now, the first thing, so there's several things that you need to be doing in this modern digital age. And I know what you're thinking. Well, Ivan, there's COVID-19 and Trump this and Trump that, and the economy sucks, and my business is taking a tank, and blah, blah, blah. That's all bullshit. Okay. So you need to set all that hype aside and hyper focus here. And I will tell you right now how you can generate more leads for your business that will pay long-term dividends and have higher retention. One of the things that you need to be doing continuously is building out your network. Okay, your network is your net worth is your network. I almost butchered that right there. Okay, so who you surround yourself with matters tremendously. And so the one thing that you need to be doing to generate more leads for your business is to continuously be building out your network. Surround yourself with like-minded individuals. Not everyone, only those who share similar interests that you can specifically relate to. I will give you a more concrete example. My network consists of people that have similar interests like me: entrepreneurs, business owners, fathers, husbands, wives, people that have families, that have kids, people who have built businesses and been successful with those businesses, people who understand the importance of investment. Those are the people in my network. Also, things like likability, making sure that they're not total morons or completely arrogant. I can't do business with people like that. So I want to surround myself with people who I can communicate with, people who see the importance of communication, people who, I can have casual conversations with. So these are just some things that I look for in people who are in my network. Now, every day, for instance, on LinkedIn, I get people who will send me a message with a connection request and say, hey, I think we should be connected because I see we're both in the marketing space. What makes you think we should be connected? Like, do you think that just because I'm in the marketing space that we need to be connected? You see what I'm saying? Like-minded people, getting to know people, building those relationships. That is who you want. So the number one, not the number one thing, excuse me, but the one thing you need to be doing to build out more leads is building out your network. Surround yourself with like-minded individuals. Not everyone, only people who share the same or similar interests that you can relate to. Become a part of the conversation. A lot of people on social media nowadays don't understand that you have to be a part of the conversation to generate leads. Okay? And what do I mean by becoming a part of the conversation? Converse and chat with others. Spend time on social media networks. So here's a prime example. Being a part of the conversation. I spend a good amount of time on social media every single day talking to people. So, scrolling through my feed on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and these are really just the primary social networks that I use. Sometimes Twitter also, I'm not quite as active there, but I scroll through and look for conversations that pertain to my interest. Something that has to do with maybe the fact that it's about family or family values or other entrepreneurs or just entrepreneurship, marketing related stuff, social media stuff. Even though I don't gravitate too much towards people who all they talk about is marketing and social media, because that is what I do. I have a marketing business. But I also dislike people who literally all they talk about is just that, because there's a lot of fluff in that. And so being part of the conversation is all about contributing, having something to say, something of value. And what happens for me specifically, and what you guys need to be doing specifically, is that you are getting the attention. You are creating attention. You're creating engagement by being a part of the conversation. Now, a lot of people will say, well, Ivan, I don't want to spend, 4 or 5 hours, on social media every single day. Well, how about this? Would you rather spend 4 or 5 hours on social media and putting forth an effort and building relationships than just sitting and waiting for those leads to come? It's just not going to happen. And so I want you guys to understand that, in fact, being a part of the conversation is extremely, extremely important. Okay? You have to be a part of the conversation. If you're not a part of the conversation, people don't know you. They don't know you exist. They don't know what you do. They don't know what kind of value you have to share. So that's extremely important that you have to keep in mind. And again, if you're just tuning in, we're talking about how to generate more leads for your business with long-term dividends and high retention. My name is Ivan Temokov. I hope you weren't expecting anyone else. I have a digital agency by the name of Razor Sharp Digital. We are the #1 human marketing agency in the world, where we help brands and entrepreneurs forge their digital footprint using multi-channel marketing, emotional engagement, and human-to-human business practices. So the last thing that I mentioned is becoming a part of the conversation. This should be a daily thing, okay? A daily thing. Well, what I mean by that is every single day going out on social and contributing, conversing, engaging with people in a non-salesy way, as if you were having a casual conversation with, a family member or a friend of yours. That's what you need to be doing. That's what I mean by becoming a part of the conversation. Another thing that you need to be considering is offer value and publish frequently. Now, a lot of people still don't understand this. What I mean by value is not just blasting anything to say that you're offering value, quote unquote. People can look up value on the internet, okay? That's the beauty about the internet. there is so much content out there that people can extract to find solutions to their problems. But the reason why they would come to you is because it's specific value that pertains to their specific situation. And you cannot find that on the internet. So offering value, what I mean by value is, for instance, and the other thing I want to talk about is publishing content regularly. So, what does offering value mean? So, when you're conversing on social media, becoming a part of the conversation, for me personally, what I strive for is to always say something that nobody else has said, or said in a way that's going to captivate attention. And there's certain buzzwords that you can use. For the most part, it's just saying what's on your mind that's going to offer value, that's going to help, someone go, that's something that I can really use. And, I guess I have been very fortunate to be able to contribute value that is very specific to people, to conversations, to be able to generate attention. That's why you're offering value. That's why it's important to be a part of the conversation, is to create awareness and interest. Now more than ever, that's intricate because the modern consumer is too intelligent. In fact, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the news, but big companies like Honda and Starbucks and Coca-Cola have indefinitely pulled millions of dollars in paid media advertising from Facebook specifically, simply because there's a breach of ethics. At least that is what's happening in the marketplace right now. A lot of big companies, and there's others, not only those three. I just mentioned Starbucks, Coca-Cola, and Honda, that are three really big brands that have pulled all their marketing dollars from Facebook simply because Facebook has unethical business practices, or at least they're being accused of it. So, if pay-per-play, and don't get me wrong, I'll talk about pay-per-play in a little bit, pay-per-play is still essential. You have to pay for targeted exposure. It's no different than the old days of having a billboard or a newspaper. You still have to pay for targeted exposure. And on that note, I'll come back to it. So if you just tune in, I'll just recap real quick how to generate more leads for your business with long-term dividends and high retention. Build your network, surround yourself with like-minded individuals. Not everyone, only those who share similar interests that you can relate to. Become a part of the conversation. Always converse and chat with others. Spend time on social media. Offer value and publish content regularly. Now, I haven't been doing this recently over the last month specifically. And for those of you that are wondering, it's because I've spent some time training and onboarding my social media coordinator, who has done a phenomenal job with the client roster thus far. I mean, she just came in and, just rolled up her sleeves and just, she's knocking shit out. But why do you need to publish content regularly? How is that going to help you generate more leads and have higher retention? First of all, you have to understand that every social platform that we use, and what I mean by every social platform, I mean Facebook, I mean Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, is extremely saturated because everybody else is bidding for attention. I think Instagram is nearing 1 billion users now, and Facebook has close to 3 billion, I believe, at this point. And it's very saturated. It's very noisy. That is one of the main reasons why you need to publish content regularly. And if for those of you that have been following me for quite a while, I know I was bombarding your feeds, and that was done with specific intent to be continuously top of mind. That is why you need to publish content regularly. Of course, there's ramifications and challenges with publishing content regularly, like coming up with unique content. Not just to say that I'm going to post multiple times per day, but also coming up with unique content, coming up with something fresh, coming up with something interesting, something humorous, something that's going to captivate the attention of people. And that's really hard to do because there's others out there who are doing something similar. But nonetheless, publish content regularly. That's how you get on the radar of people. That is how people are actually going to take notice, because you're publishing regularly. I will give you a prime example. Last year, one of the biggest projects that I have worked on in my business over the last 4 years resulted over the fact that I had been publishing videos on LinkedIn every single day for a period of 4 months. And as a result, I captivated the attention of a very thriving healthcare startup who ended up spending tens of thousands of dollars on marketing with me. And that's because I captivated attention, generated interest through video, and I invested upfront. I invested a valiant amount of time, resources of my own, which, whether you think that your time is worth something or not, it's still valuable. Your time is worth something. And so the point I'm trying to make to you is this, that you need to publish regularly. Publish regular content. That is an essential to lead generation. That is an essential to prospecting, to building relationships with people that are going to be 100% interested in your product or service, and also attribute to long-term dividends and high retention. Now, everything that I'm sharing with you here is done organically. There's zero marketing spend thus far that I've mentioned. Always give more than what you ask for. This, for me, this has been a challenge over the years, honestly, because I have always given more. In fact, recently someone reminded me, and they said, it was a social post that I saw on my social feed. I don't remember from who it was, but one thing that they were emphasizing upon is that anytime someone wants one-on-one time with you to quote unquote pick your brain, that means that they're looking to extract premium value that otherwise you should be getting paid for. And here's a rude awakening for many of you. I have done this mistake where I've allowed too many people to pick my brain so I can give them premium value for $0. That's how you lose money. That's how you lose prospects. That's how you lose potential long-term dividends, because people want to pick your brain. I don't know about you guys, but I've spent 25 years doing digital marketing, and I've failed a shit ton of times. And my time is important. My time is valuable. You need to honor your time. So what I'm trying to say here is always give more than what you ask for, but don't stretch yourself so thin to where you're shooting yourself in the foot and you're not converting prospects into customers. There's a happy balance in that. And here's an example of always give more than what you ask for. So I have a podcast, which if you haven't subscribed to just yet, I encourage you to do that. It's probably one of the best podcasts you have listened to in a very long time. It's called The Roz Project. You can Google it and you'll find it everywhere. I share immense amount of value about business, entrepreneurship, life, personal development, family, tech, and marketing, all of that. So it targets and it hits on every area that every prospect, every lead, every potential customer is interested in. But it also has an emphasis as well. I also share a lot of videos on my YouTube channel. I share a lot of videos like these where I share free insight to you guys, things that I have learned, things that other clients of mine, or things that others have taught me as well. That is valuable, and that is all free to you. Furthermore, you can subscribe from my email coaching program on my website, ivantemokov.com, below. That is emails that you get for free a couple of times per week, where there's also insight that you can read at your discretion. That's what I mean by always giving more. But where I get paid is when actually people want my dedicated time to do something, to implement and execute upon. That's how you get paid. And it's important to delineate that, because I think there's a lot of people out there who share an immense amount of content to the point to where they're shooting themselves in the foot and unable to convert those leads, those prospects into customers. Never have any expectations from others. This is a hard lesson that I have learned when it comes to generating more leads, more prospects. Is that if you're doing all the things that I just mentioned to you thus far, having expectations, is a very fast way to creating disappointment. And so, for me personally, in every relationship that I enter with a client, with a new client or a pre-existing client, is that I just focus on being proactive. I focus on providing value, doing the work, solving problems, and not having any expectations. Because if I set certain expectations for myself, then I know that that's a quick way to fail and create disappointment specifically, because in most times the expectations are unrealistic. So there's certain things that you can expect, but for the most part, just keep creating solutions and offering value. That is ultimately why your clients are paying you. Work on building trust with others. This is what a lot of people don't understand, is that trust is earned. It's not given. In fact, nowadays, when it comes to organic prospecting, you have to understand that building trust is going to take time. You're not going to be able to convert a person on the first try. You're just not, because they already know that they have many other choices. So they have to be cognizant about the fact of why should they choose you? What is so specifically unique about you? What do they like about you? Can they trust you? Is the value that you're sharing, premium? Is it specific to their needs? Can it create a targeted solution? And if you haven't picked up on this, I just shared another tip as a bonus, and that is the 3 reasons why people will want to do business with you. It's trust, likability, and value. And I know it sounds very simple, but it's very, very difficult to execute upon, because talking about trust takes time to build, and trust will actually attribute to long-term dividends and higher retention. So you want to be very selective in terms of who you build trust with in your business, and that will help you create those long-term paying dividends, and also that higher retention. Because trust has weight, meaning that weight in terms of long-term, where people will want to stick around longer because they trust you. That is the basis of actually a lot of things, not only in business, but also in life as well. You have to understand that, pay per play is still important. So a lot of the things that I shared thus far is, focused around an organic approach of prospecting and lead generation that can equate to long-term dividends and higher customer retention. So everything that I share with you is organic, right? There's zero media spent on this, but at the same time, you have to understand that it's important to pay to play. When I was teaching search engine optimization at the University of Missouri in St. Louis 6 years ago, one of the things, methodology that I used to use is that, look at, business as a long-term sprint, but at the same, as a long-term marathon, excuse me. But then there's many times where you need to sprint. So with search engine optimization specifically, is SEO is the marathon and pay per play is the sprint. You have to be able to play on a long-term scale, but at the same time you got to have these mini sprints here and there as well. Paid strategies were never intended to be long-term solutions. The only exception to that is brands that have sizable media budgets and can afford to spend, millions of dollars per month or per year on Facebook advertising or Google ads or any other paid platform. But the point I'm trying to make is that there's a lot of organic ways that you can generate leads and prospects, but you're also going to have to pay to play at some point, because 100% organic reliance is a very lengthy process, and it can be very difficult to sustain for a business. And the last thing that I want to share when we're talking about here how to generate more leads for your business with long-term dividends and high retention, that is consistency. A lot of businesses don't understand that you have to be consistent in everything. You have to be consistent in when you publish content. You have to be consistent in your messaging. You have to be consistent in everything that you do. And that will ultimately attribute to those long-term dividends and high retention, because you are consistent. And I'll be the first to admit that consistency is difficult. 100% consistency is something that I think a lot of small businesses specifically don't understand, but is so essential to do. Consistency, for example, post regularly, go live regularly. This is precisely why I have a social media calendar for my own brand, Ivan Temokov, that I spend, a valiant amount of time on. We're actually in the midst of kind of reviving it and trying to go more full speed with it, because at the end of the day, and why personal branding is so essential, without, going off on a tangent here, is that people will buy you. That's why you have to post consistently, because they buy you. They resonate with you. Most people don't give two shits about the name of your business, but what they care about is the person that's representing, the person that they're going to communicate with. That's why I spend so much time on my personal brand, about to invest even more, because Razor Sharp Digital is my business. That's where I work with my clients. But in order to create awareness, to create interest, to create attraction, to create intent, it's really all about me. And that's what I want you guys to understand, is that you have to post consistently. If you don't post consistently, then it's a lack of trust. And people tend to become hesitant. Also, I've seen some people just veer away simply because, for instance, especially over the last month, when I focus more on my business and onboarding a new employee, I have seen the shift. I have seen the shift in engagement. I've seen the shift in attraction. And that can be detrimental to a business. This is part of growing pains as a business. So let's recap this real quick for those of you that may have tuned in to the tail end of this live. And we're actually live on multiple platforms. We're on my Facebook profile, in the Human Marketing Alliance group, which, by the way, I encourage you to join for more free resources and information. Also my Facebook business page, my YouTube channel, and on Periscope / Twitter as well. So we're multi-streaming here, something that I'm pretty excited about. But let's recap real quick, okay? How to generate more leads for your business with long-term dividends and high retention. Build out your network. Become a part of the conversation. Offer value. Publish content regularly. Always give more than what you ask for. Never have any expectations from others. Work on building trust. Trust is earned. It's not given. And understand that pay per play is essential. 100% reliance on organic growth is not something that you want to bet on. And the last thing is consistency. You have to be consistent out there in who you are and what you share. And that's what builds that trust. So if you guys enjoyed this, let me know in the comment section below. If you have any questions about lead generation and helping your business thrive with modern digital tactics that are relevant to the marketplace, feel free to message me. I would love to chat with you. I don't charge for conversations. In fact, a conversation with me may help you grow your business. So again, if you enjoyed this, feel free to share it out there on your social networks. If you're struggling with your business, feel free to message me. I'd love to have a conversation with you. And thanks again so much for tuning in. Have a blessed rest of your Tuesday. And until next time, take care. Bye-bye.